You're helping people around the world communicate for free. Please enter your access code followed by the pound or hash.
Hello everyone, this is going to be the lottery for Redtail Crossing in Wrentham. This is David Cashman with SEB. I'm trying to just get the conference call up, so give me just a minute here, and then we'll get started.
If you are the host, press star now. Otherwise, please enter your PIN followed by the pound or hash. Thank you. There is one other participant in the conference. Please announce yourself.
Hello, this is Dave with SEB.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks. Okay, so I'm speaking to both audiences now. David Cashman with SEB Housing. This is the lottery for the affordable units at Redtail Crossing in Wrentham. We have one household attending the lottery by conference call, and it looks like 7 households tuning in via the YouTube live stream. So I'll be speaking to both audiences. Congratulations on getting this far. It's certainly a big step in the process. It's not the final step, but it's certainly a big one to be entered into the lottery. So that's great. I will give you just a little bit of background about how many households were eligible, how I'm going to run the lottery, and what you might expect going forward. So in total, we had 13 households submit completed applications and who will be entered into the lottery. In total, we're going to have 3 waiting lists that will be generated from the lottery drawing. Remember, the exact order that I draw the numbers, your application number out of the box, is relevant, but it's not the final story because I have to sort the results according to a number of factors and priorities. I will do that tonight after the lottery drawing. I will put them on the waiting list, and then I will send the waiting list to all of you. Those waiting lists will be in the order top to bottom that households will have priority in moving forward. So please wait to get those waiting lists because those really give you the whole picture on what to expect next. You know, in the lottery drawing, being drawn earlier is better than later. But again, you don't know, of the households drawn ahead of you, what they're applying for. So you're not going to know exactly what it means until you get the waiting list. It's a little hard to see because I don't have a color printer. I'm sorry, but when I send an email, it looks like just about everyone. I think everyone in the lottery has an email, so that's great. So I can email you the results, and I will email you this. It's going to look like this, but what's really dark that you can't see will be in green. You'll be able to read it. But basically, here are our 3 waiting lists. 1, 2, 3. This is going to be a 2-bedroom waiting list. This is going to be a local 3-bedroom waiting list. This is going to be a general 3-bedroom waiting list. The 2-bedroom units, there were no households who qualified for local preference, and there were no households who indicated the need of a disabled accessible unit. So there's just going to be 1 waiting list for the 2-bedroom units. For the 3-bedroom units, there's going to be 2 waiting lists. Basically, the way it'll work is there'll be a local preference list and then a general list. There was a disabled accessible unit, general disabled accessible 3-bedroom unit. No household indicated need for that. So the leasing office will use the local preference list first to fill 2 3-bedroom units. Once that's complete, that list will be closed. They'll then move over to the general 3-bedroom waiting list to fill that 1 disabled accessible unit. All 8 applicants who applied for the 3-bedroom unit will be on both lists. Okay, I repeat. So if you're non-local, you'll be on the local list for a 3-bedroom. And if you're local, you'll also be on the general list. So all 8 will be on both lists. Okay, and again, for the 2-bedroom list, there are 4 units and 6 applicants in just 1 list. Okay. Before I go any further, is there anyone who does not know their lottery application number? Anyone who does not know their lottery application number?
Anyone who does not
For the household that's on the call, I can hear that you're doing both. It's a little distracting because I can hear myself like a little bit delayed. Can you maybe quiet that?
Hang up because I was able to get online. I wasn't sure that I was going to get it. So I'm going to hang up this call and just do the video one, okay?
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so no one's spoken up, so I assume everyone knows their lottery application number. There'll be two drawings. First is going to be a local preference drawing. There were 3 households who indicated they qualified for local preference. And then, so I'll draw those 3. And then once I've done that, I will add those back with all the other households, and I will draw all 13. And I will use those to populate the waiting lists, which again, you will get tonight. The waiting lists, again, they just establish the order of priority that households will get to move on to the next step, which is to get in touch with the leasing office and to apply for a unit. Remember, we have not screened you for lease eligibility, so that is still an important next step in this process. We didn't ask any questions about your credit history, criminal background, landlord references, or any of those other things that leasing offices sometimes ask for. So just please keep that in mind, that you will still have to apply for a lease with them. And then hopefully you're eligible and you can select from any of the available units on your list when it's your turn to move forward. I will send you contact information for the leasing office when I send you the waiting list tonight. Please keep in mind, sometimes leasing offices might need a couple days or even a week to kind of get themselves set up and prepared to start working with lottery households. So don't panic if you don't hear right away, even if you have a top position on a waiting list. It may just be because they need a little bit of time to get themselves organized before they can start working with you. And I will also provide your contact to them so they know how to get in touch with you. So you can, you'll have their contact, they'll have your contact, and you can work together and moving forward in the next step. Let me see what else. So I'll just say one more thing, and then I can open it up for questions, and then we can do the lottery drawing. But what I showed before, the waiting list, these are going to have your application numbers on them, so they'll be anonymous. Again, this darkened out part that you can't see, but you will be able to see it when I email it to you. It'll be green. 4 spaces on the 2-bedroom list because that's how many units there are. All that means is I know that there are 4 units. I can guarantee that the top 4 households are going to be invited forward to the next step. Now, the next 2 households may also ultimately get invited if one of these households doesn't end up leasing a unit, okay? So if you're in one of these 2 positions, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to get to move forward. You just got to wait and see what happens with these households first, okay? Same applies on this 3-bedroom list, and same applies on this 3-bedroom list. There are 2 units available here, so I highlighted these in green. I know these households are going to get invited forward. I'm not sure if these households may have to wait to see what happens with these households. Same here, okay? But it certainly does happen that households who are invited to move forward don't end up leasing a unit for one reason or another. So even if you don't get, the number 1 spot or your most desired spot, it doesn't necessarily mean you should despair and think you're not going to get to move forward. You may just end up having to wait. Shamir, how does the leasing process work when you already have Section 8? So for Section 8, the leasing office would be in touch with your housing authority, essentially just to make sure that the rent is within what the housing authority is willing to pay. If it is, great, you could check that box. If you have a Section 8 voucher or any other kind of mobile subsidy, and you do need to make sure it's mobile, although we probably would have already looked at your voucher for the lottery and confirmed that. The fact that you have a voucher doesn't mean you don't still have to pass certain other lease screening criteria, like if you have some disqualifying criminal history or something like that. That could be a reason where even if you have a voucher, you could be denied. It's possible if you have really, really, really poor credit, Even if you have a voucher, you could be denied. But barring those things, if you otherwise meet the lease screening criteria and your housing authority indicates that the rent for the unit you're applying for is within their limits, then hopefully you should be good to go. Any other questions before I get started with the lottery drawing? Everyone knows their number. I will call them out and show them on the screen as I go. Everyone good? Okay. You can ask me questions after if you have them. I'm going to do the local drawing first. Okay, so 3 households who indicated they qualified for local preference. I'll pick those 3 out. I'll add them to the other 10 for 13. Those will be all 13 in the general drawing, and we'll do that second. Okay, so local drawing first. I'll put my 3 numbers in the box. Okay, here's the box that I'm drawing them out of. Probably time to update it a little bit, but okay, shake it up a little bit here. And okay, first number drawn is A001. A.001. Next one is A.007. A.007. And the third one is A.011. A.011. Okay, that was our local preference drawing. All right, let me mix those back in with all 13. So now we have all 13 households who are in the lottery. Again, I need to sort these a little later this evening to create the waiting list. I'll be looking at, who was drawn where, what unit they applied for, whether they qualified for local preference, what household type they were. Household type 3s have priority for 3-bedroom units. I think every household that applied for a 3-bedroom unit was a type 3, so that actually won't matter. And for 2-bedroom units, there's no priority as between type 2 and 3, so it won't matter there either. All right, let me just shuffle these up a little more, and then we'll do the general drawing. And then again, folks, just check your email. I should have the results to you. I will definitely have the results to you before the end of the night. And then the next step will be, especially if you're one of the households in green on the waiting list, getting in touch with the leasing office or waiting to hear from them and moving forward with them, applying for a lease. All right. I got these shuffled up. Put them in the box. Okay, this is the general drawing. I'm going to pick 13 numbers out. First number drawn is A.009. A.009. Next number. A.006. A.006. Next number. A.004. A.004. Next number. A.007. A.007. Next number, A.011. A.011. Next number, A.008. A.008. Next number, A.001. A.001. Next number, A.012. A.012. Next number, A.013. A.013. Next number, A.005. A.005. Number A.002. A.002. Next number is A.010. A.010. And the last number drawn in the general drawing is A.003. A.003. All right, so that's it, folks. I'm going to just hold that up in case anyone wanted to see where the numbers were drawn. Again, these are not the waiting lists. These are not the waiting lists, but here's the order. This is the local. This is the general. Okay, that's the order the numbers were drawn. All right, I will, like I said, I will sort these. I will create the waiting lists. Again, for households who applied for the 3-bedroom units, don't be confused. You're going to find yourself on 2 different waiting lists. You'll be on the local preference waiting list, and you'll be on the general list for the disabled accessible unit. The reason for that is because the way the lottery was set up, there was supposed to be 2 3-bedroom units that had a local preference attached. So we do have that. And there was also a 3-bedroom unit that had disabled accessible features, but there were no households who applied for 3 bedrooms who needed those. So those will also be made, that 1 unit will also be made available. However, there's no local preference attached to it, okay? And so the way I sort it, there won't be any, like local preference households won't get to leapfrog non-local preference households on that general list, okay? On the general list, they won't leapfrog. But on the local list, they will. The 3 households who qualified will be the top 3 households on the local preference 3-bedroom list. Okay, so I'll send those waiting lists tonight. Anyone have any questions while I'm still on here that I can address? Okay, so thanks for tuning in, everyone. Congrats again on getting this far. Shamir, how many spots were on the 2 beds? So there are 4 units, Shamir, and 6 applicants for the 2-bedroom units. Remember, you know, oftentimes, you know, not every household who is a top waiting list position ends up renting a unit for one reason or another, right? So even if you're in the 5th or 6th spot on the 2-bedroom waiting list, that doesn't mean that you're definitely not going to get an opportunity here, because maybe one of the households ahead of you changes their mind. Maybe they're in another lottery and they're more interested in a different unit somewhere. Maybe they don't pass the lease screening criteria, whatever may happen. But if you're 5th or 6th on that list, you may just need to be a little patient, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to get to move forward. You're just going to have to wait and see. Any other questions? What floor plan were the 4 units? Shamir, you're going to have to talk to the leasing office about that. They can show you the different units that are available and what the floor plans are if and when you get invited to move forward to apply for a unit. I don't know exactly if they're doing it in person or if it's going to be virtual given the pandemic, but they should definitely be able to show you what the different options are so that you can make an informed decision about which unit you want. But if I recall correctly, the units are kind of like duplexes. So there's a unit, it's like one building has 2 units side by side in a pod, and then there are a bunch of those pods throughout the development. So it's not your kind of classic one big apartment building with you know, hundreds of units in it. It's smaller pods. It has more of a sort of a home ownership feeling, and is unique in that sense. Any other questions? Any other questions? No? Okay. Well, thanks everyone. And again, check your email tonight. I'll send you the waiting list with your lottery application numbers on it, so it'll be anonymous. And then the next steps will be to move forward with the leasing office. So thanks again, and have a great night, everyone. Bye-bye.